right, guys. We got through what may be the worst episode of the season. Mm-hmm. And again, we did that for y'all.
For you.
For you. It's actually so funny. I'm actually sober. Like, it actually sapped the alcohol from my body. Like, the whole time I've been like, normally you and I are just like, blah, blah, blah. We're laughing, hitting the table. This whole episode, we're like... We needed so much energy to get through it. My body ran through the alcohol. I had 2 shots and my mimosa, and I'm completely sober. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the channel. It is I, Niata Lebele, and again joined by the beautiful Marissa Rivera.
Hello, hello.
Hi, guys. Gonna try to keep energy up, but we were just talking before we started, and like episode 6, if we're not giving what we need to give, it's because the episode
did not give
what it needed.
Like 4 and 5 were like blah 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 blah, and 6 was like so.
It was shocking to me. We're gonna obviously get to it when we get through it, but I could not believe. I was so excited for episode 6 because episode 5 was so dynamic, and then just to get into the episode and feel like, I was like, oh no. And I was like, hopefully this doesn't set the tone for the rest of the season.
But we'll discuss. We'll
discuss when we get there.
Oh! Love this girl! Oh no, girl!
So we're going to go ahead and get started. We are going to take our shot now. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. I love tequila. Oh my God, I love tequila. We're going to try to drink less. Not because we have a problem. I'm proud of everything that we've ever done.
We're fine.
We're fine. What, in my first season, I had people were actually worried about me. They're like, I feel like maybe you're drinking too much. I was like, no, like 3 to 5 shots is fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
But it makes it more fun. So we do this for y'all. We do it for ourselves. We love y'all so much. And we're going to like hop into it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Liar, a fraud, a succubus of the first water, and the other is not known to this author.
Julie Andrews' delivery of that line is also fantastic.
Julie Andrews.
I haven't talked about her a lot as Lady Whistledown, but she is phenomenal.
Snaps for Julie Andrews.
Oh my God. Y'all, if this show is trying to go on for the next 15 years, I need y'all to like hurry it up if we need Miss Andrews to be here for all of the voiceover.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep these seasons going. Yes.
Chaperone. It's too late.
I know there is something.
Mama.
It's too late.
It's so late.
They already fucked.
They did. There's a baby percolating.
It's too late.
It's way too late.
I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah. Like, I feel like she acts like she's mad if Penelope trapped him into marriage, but do you think she'd really, like, I feel like that would be one of her plans.
It was.
It was. With Marina. Maybe because it's not her own daughter.
No.
Right?
No, and with Philippa and cousin Jack.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so she did this once before. I don't know why she's
acting all...
I don't know why she's acting all
like, ma'am,
hoity-toity, huffity-puffity.
Come on.
Because of Cressida Cowper and her insane claims to be Whistledown.
So, why are you... I'd be like, so you fainted last night because Cressida claimed to be Lady Whistledown?
Yeah. I feel like he... As we said before, Penn is the brains of the operation here. Like, I thought for sure he was gonna put it together.
Yes.
Especially with, like, that kid, the first kissing scene in the garden.
She's left nothing but clues.
Yeah.
He never
picks up what she's putting down. Ever.
It is so... Again, we'll talk about it when we get there, but when Colin goes to Cressida and makes it worse, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. She loves him for who he is and for his looks, and bless her for that, because she's always going to have to, like, think things through for the both of them. He can't be in charge of anything. Girl, that ink! That's crazy! Pen!
That's crazy.
Pen!
That's a lot of ink.
That's a lot of ink. You got all those gloves upstairs.
And for what?
For what?
For who?
Because she could have put something on. Like, just put a little something on. That's filthy. Girl.
Letters to share our happy news.
He knows she doesn't have any friends.
Who's she telling?
What you doing? Auntie that they got the money from? Dead. What other family do they have?
Cousin Jack, disgraced.
Disgraced in America. Who's she writing letters to?
Eloise? Not friends.
So, Colin, ask a few questions. Just like one or two.
I love the color of this door.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice the first watch. This is beautiful.
Beautiful.
The green on the green, all of it.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. I love it.
Gifts, but cleverness is not amongst them.
I feel like there's so many mean moms in the ton.
Yep.
I feel like Violet is one of the only ones.
She is literally the only one.
She might be the only one because we at this point have seen Lady Danbury with her kids. We have seen Queen Charlotte with her children. We've seen Cressida's mama.
Daphne's sweet.
And you know what? Sharma, Lady Sharma, Kate Sharma's mama, she wasn't a great mom, but she was trying by the end of the season.
Right.
But we don't really see full support from moms except for Violet.
Yep.
This is rough.
Forgive my intrusion. I simply forgot my hat.
Did he leave it on purpose?
100%.
That man last night went.
Tale as old as time.
Left that hat on.
Song as old as rhyme.
Yes! He left the hat at the end of the night. He was like,
that's the equivalent of a girl leaving her sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I left my. I just had to come back and get my.
Get my favorite sweatshirt.
I
Sorry, I had to get my favorite sweatshirt. Can I just like stop by really quick and then but it's around dinner time, so I do like dinner.
You want to just like
do dinner and like do you want to like watch a movie?
Yeah,
and
we're
do you
fucking.
wanna, like so you want to like put your penis in my vagina?
Oh my god, oopsie. I love that he did this.
Oh yeah.
I hope. Do you think Violet knows this is a thing?
Yeah, she's
you think
astute.
So? Okay. Then everyone in this room knows that he needed to be here today.
Everyone in this room, and this room, everyone in these rooms,
all of the rooms,
knows that.
I love this for her.
The ones as well.
I am not her.
I love how Benedict's always just like this on the couch.
Benedict
and Eloise are always just like this,
slumped. Yeah, Eloise's legs spread wide open
with the cookies.
Spread, just lazing about next to each other. I do like that about them.
We must go to the Modisa Day for your dress.
And Eloise is like, oh, he still doesn't know.
He just doesn't know.
He's happy, so he must not know.
Can I ask you, if you knew that your brother was marrying someone that is lying to him, would you, and you know that the lie could maybe potentially hurt everyone, but maybe it wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Would you tell him? She chooses eventually to say, no, I'm not going to tell him. It would hurt him more. Do you know what you would do in that situation?
I feel like I would force the issue by sitting all of us down making sure that it happens.
Got it. You were just like, no, we're going to have the talk today.
We're going to sit down right now. You have something to tell my brother.
So you would just be like, we're not playing this game.
Don't you have something to tell my brother?
Because last time you fainted, so now we're going to be, I got some smelling
salts. Now that you're feeling well.
You're feeling well.
I have some smelling salts in my back pocket.
Quite literally. Yeah. So like, let's do this. I don't know.
What would you do?
God, I feel like I would have to tell my brother. Yeah. Like my brother, I love him so much. He's one of my favorite.
My loyalty is to him.
Yes.
But that's again too, like, Penelope is already practically a sister.
Yes.
So I could see if it was some random chick.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Oh, bitch, you gone.
Bye.
Bye.
Secret was told 2 weeks ago.
Yes. But it would be tough, right? Because you're like, they're engaged. If he breaks the engagement, that's going to look bad on the family. It's going to look bad for... Penelope would never meet another man. That would be it for her. So it would be very tough. But I do think I would be like, it has to happen.
Right.
And I will be there. I wouldn't tell my mom personally. My mom wouldn't handle any of this shit well. Like, if I told my mom that she was Lady Whistledown, my mom would be like, get the hell out of my mom wouldn't handle it well. So I think I would just be like, I will be there. I will help you guys talk through it.
Mm-hmm. Mediate.
I'll mediate because I love both of you. Mm-hmm. But you have to tell him.
Right.
Yeah. No. Eloise is better than us because I truly am like, I don't care. Bitch, you're telling him today.
Yeah. Today.
She is devastated about Miss Cowper coming forward. Tell me you did not know.
If my brother started to get on my case, I would actually just...
You would break. Break immediately.
Because you're not going to blame me. I've been in this bitch for you this whole time.
At this point, I would
That would be the moment.
I'd be like...
That would be the moment. And
Okay.
And the thing about it is it would come out wrong because he was accusing me. I would get defensive and it would
Right.
come out like, you know what?
You know what?
I was trying to help you, but your girlfriend is a duplicitous bitch. She's Lady
But
Whistledown.
also, like, she's known this whole time and hasn't said anything.
Oh, I would lie about that. I mean, like, I found out yesterday, and I didn't want to. No, I found out at your engagement party. I didn't want to hurt you. I have to save myself in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's gotta go.
Interesting.
I don't think I could tell him I knew the whole time. Like, then I'm a really bad person. But I'm a terrible. Here's the thing. She's known the whole time, but it didn't become a thing until they got engaged. Now that they're
That's
engaged,
true.
before it was like, yes, I knew, but like you didn't need to know my best
But
friend's
also,
secret.
like, it gets on him about him not telling her, Eloise, about his feelings towards Penelope. And it's like, how can you not tell me about your feelings when you know we're, like, on the outs? Like, how can you, like, go behind my back that way? And she's also going behind his back. You know, there's a little tit
There's a lot of people go tit for you're right. But again, like we said before, I am very self-righteous, just like Eloise. So at this moment, I wouldn't be thinking about my wrongs. No. My wrongs don't matter here. Let's talk about Penelope's wrongs. Yes.
And our future together.
I can see with this why she didn't say anything.
I know. And like you said in an early episode, he's a soft boy, and she knows that he's a soft boy. He's a soft, and she's got to know he's the softest of all of their siblings. Mm-hmm. Like, she could probably talk shit to everybody else, and they would be able to go tit for tat, but she could not.
If it were Benedict,
oh my God,
she would have told him.
Yes. And I think if it was Anthony, she would have been more afraid of Anthony killing somebody, and so she would have had to figure out the way to tell him so he didn't fly off. Yes. And I think she would have figured out a way to tell Daphne even if something like this happened.
That's true.
I think because he's a very tender boy, breaking the heart of the most kind, warm person in your family would probably be very. You're right. I think I wouldn't be able to do it either. I think I'm coming back on it. I forgot that Colin is a soft boy.
He's the softest little boy.
And breaking his heart, he would probably start crying in front of you. You know what I mean? Or like try to wipe away a tear and then ask you to leave the room. And then you'd listen to him cry outside the door. You know what I mean?
And you'd be like, I made my brother
cry.
I had a hand in breaking my brother's heart.
Yeah, now that it's back to, I forget that Colin is like just a little baby.
Would describe herself.
She never lies.
No, she never lies. So I'm just going to practice with you. You're going to go talk to Lady Cowper right now?
To Lady Whistledown herself.
So you would come up with that. You would be able to, on your feet, come up with what you were going to say.
I'm quick.
We had a good run for a while. But it's just gossip. Let it go.
Two things.
This scene breaks my heart.
It is heartbreak. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, this is around the time that I remembered that I hate Penelope as a character. Nicola Coughlan, for the first 5 episodes, because of everything she is, because of every interview I've watched, I forgot that I actually cannot stand this character. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you.
Ask away.
I'm going to say 2 different things in the scene. Let's just get to the first one that I just want to throw away is Eloise saying that Cressida is doing a harebrained scheme. Baby, I want you to remember that your friend needs money, but you haven't talked to her. You think she's being stupid. And I'm just like, your friend did it, not for attention, but because...
She's basically like, she can never pull it off. The Colin will die.
Yes.
This is the perfect out.
Perfect out. But the fact that she is very much like anti-Cressida right now, I'm just like, do you not remember, and maybe she doesn't, she's not thinking about it, that your friend, Cressida, who's been your friend, who was the only one who was hanging out with you over the summer, is about to be engaged, it broke off, but was engaged to an old man.
Yeah.
And she has no way out of her home. And so she's doing this for a reason. And if you go talk to her, you'd find out why she do it. So Eloise in the scene, I'm just kind of like, baby, what happened? But I just want to ask you a question. If you wrote a column.
Yes.
Under a pseudonym.
Yes.
And your enemy took credit for that column, how would you handle... I would burn her to the ground too.
I would burn her to the ground.
I don't blame Penelope for wanting to do this at all.
No,
I think
especially like her bully.
It's her bully. That I keep being like, girl, stop. If this
girl,
was a bully,
this girl has made her life miserable for years.
Probably the entire time. Not even, it's before she came out to society, because I'm sure the women got together. Cressida has been her bully probably for over a decade or so. So like, I understand her being like, fuck this bitch. She's not going to take what's mine.
Bitch.
And it's hard though, right? Because she knows she needs to stop, because if she doesn't stop, she's going to get caught. But at the same time,
I think here too, it's important to note that the idea that she can't be Whistle Down and a Bridgerton at the same time, that seed is definitely planted, and it's like she can't.
Yeah, and I think that might be the first time that's she's been so enraged that she hasn't even thought about that fact.
Yeah.
And I will say, and we'll talk about it later, the changes from book to show, whereas in the book, that pretty much is true. Like, once the book ends, there's no more Whistle Down. I believe starting from that book, I think that was it. And
I missed it so much.
The whistle, right? At the beginning of the book, not having anything anymore, it was kind of jarring. So, it's interesting. We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, everyone in the scene is a little bit right and a little bit wrong. And so it's hard for me, because I'm like, Eloise is absolutely right to come in here and do this spiel and be mad at Cressida. But at the same time, I'm like, you got to be a friend of Cressida. And Penelope, I'm like, I wish you would stop writing. But at the same time, again, if my bully tried to take credit for my work, I'd ruin her life. And also, Penelope doesn't know what's going on in Cressida's life. Yeah. No one tells her, hey, Cressida is being forced to marry a man who is 3 to 4 times her age. She is going to...
And is abusive.
And is abusive. She is in a household where her father does not care for her.
It's abusive.
It is abusive.
She's going from one... abusive household to
another.
The next.
Yes. And has a mother that won't protect her. The thing about Portia Featherington, I know Portia can be a bad mom, but you know what she's going to motherfucking do every time? Protect her girls.
Protect the girls.
It's... For her, every time, it's protect my girls. Whatever it takes, if it is doing crazy shit in season 2 and then getting a man on a boat back to America, she did what she had to do. And she's always going to do what she has to do to make sure her daughters are okay. You know who doesn't do that? Lady Cowper. Every conversation where a man is berating her daughter, she looks the other direction.
Yeah.
And that is like... So, it's just hard for me.
Looking at herself in the mirror in the corner.
Yes, that was a good catch.
Just always looking at versions of herself, trying to figure out who she wants to be.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. All season she's been looking at herself in the mirror in different ways with different people behind her until she's seeing herself in different ways. Marissa.
Was that second shot?
Her greatest strength is that she is an observer. What have you observed in your life other than yourself?
Harsh words.
Harsh.
Also, her hair, like a geode, right? Is that what it's called?
I love this.
Isn't that what it's called? Like the stone?
Yes.
It's stunning.
I think I need more blush.
Let's do it.
Prove it.
It's very tough, though, to have gone from your mom calling you dumb and then the queen calling you dumb. This is so many people calling her dumb.
I think this is a lot of people calling her out.
They are calling her out, but...
Which she's not used to.
She's not used to, but, like, I'm not sure she didn't know she wasn't clever. You know what I mean? Like, if the first day you found out that no one thinks you're clever is today, this is a tough... You know what I mean? Like, if I thought I was, like, a little bit smart...
Yeah.
And then, like...
Also, would you have gone in there and told the queen the truth? Would you have been like,
"Oh fuck,
I said this because these are my prospects and I'm panicking"?
No. I'd be afraid she'd be like, "Off with your head." I'm not quite sure if do we know if Queen Charlotte's ever ordered an execution?
No, that doesn't happen.
Okay, so we're gonna say that doesn't happen anymore.
I forget what season it is, but she was like, if we still executed people, if we still hung people, you would be hanged for treason or something like that.
Okay, great. So she doesn't kill people anymore.
That. I think I would have been like, listen, Queenie, here's what's going on. I am desperate. I am in sheer desperados. that my parents are making me marry an abusive, old, creepy man.
Yeah.
And I just said I was her because I need to smell those mouths and I'm scared.
I think
I would have broken immediately.
Under
her gaze?
She's very scary.
I would have broken immediately.
If I was a 19, 20-year-old and someone was looking at me like this, I think you're right. I think I would have also been like, fuck, I messed up, I'm scared, I don't want to marry this guy, I just said it. I don't think she would have mercy because Queen Charlotte doesn't quite have mercy for people that are not, like she said, worthy opponents or people that she thinks are, like, smart enough.
Right.
But I think you're right. I think if I was this age, not the age I am now, I would have been like...
I would have done it today.
I would have messed up. Yeah.
I would have done it today. I would have broken today.
What would happen after?
Anything would be better than...
Yeah.
Anything would be better than marrying that guy.
I know.
Being sold off to that guy.
Sold off to the guy. God, her dad fucking sucks.
Of the season before announcing your intentions, and that way we can all slink off to our country homes for the wedding, and
we can hide and avoid the Queen's wrath.
At the start of next season.
It's kind of also hard to hear your mom say, let's hide your marriage. Mm-hmm. That's not what her mom means, but I feel like that's what Francesca is hearing. Because as the season goes on, she keeps thinking her mom is not happy with this. She's not showing
She doesn't
approve. So I feel like what she's hearing is, it's okay, let's just keep you guys over here. Mm-hmm. And that would be hard for me to hear my mom say.
Bridgerton feel as if he is the most important person in the world to cater entirely to your husband. His dreams, his wishes, at least in the beginning.
Oof.
Fake it till you make it, she's saying.
We'll try my dream.
Well, also, just do whatever you can to get a man to be secure, and then in the marriage, it'll be too late, and you can do what you want then. Yeah. But I know everything.
Again, she's speaking from her perspective.
She's speaking from her perspective. Again, she's from every generation of women is going to be a little bit different, than their mom, right? Mm-hmm. Like their mom comes from maybe a more conservative time, and so you're a little bit more liberal than your mom. Portia had a bad marriage, but she says at some point, I did what I had to do to secure a match. Right. So I don't know what kind of household she was in before, but I can only imagine if she's like this as a mom, I can only imagine what her mother was like. You know what I mean? So like...
This feels like a learned behavior.
Yeah, and so she probably had to escape that household, got married to a man who was willing to accept her too, and I'm not sure she's had a great life.
Or she had a big enough dowry.
Or she had a huge dowry, and maybe he never cared about her, right? He just wanted the money.
From what we saw...
He did not.
He did not.
So...
From what she says, he did not.
Right. So she's doing what she has to. She's saying what she believes to be true based on, like you said, her own experiences. Mm-hmm. I really feel like nothing she's saying is coming from a place of like hate. I think she thinks she's protecting everybody, and the way she does it is it's not great.
No.
Yeah.
I chose a match for security, and he could not even provide that. Being for you three to do better than I did.
That is true.
Yep.
That is true.
Yep.
But there are people out there, there are parents out there that are jealous
of their children
and hold them back.
Yes, they do. And that's, again, what we were talking about earlier, the difference between her, who can sometimes be cruel, and Lady Cowper, who is very cruel to her daughter sometimes and also doesn't protect her daughter.
Yeah.
Like,
she's trying to protect her.
She's always trying to protect her.
Always trying to protect her, and
she wants better for them in life. Mm-hmm. So
she doesn't know that when it comes to men, she could also
have dreams and a life and
have better than what she had. She thinks all men are this way. Yes. All marriages are this way.
Yes. Well, if we look at, like, I guess her only two examples would be her parents' marriage and then her marriage. Right. And if both of those sucked, then to her, she's like, okay, 2 out of 2. All marriages are bad.
Right. Although her daughters... Those aren't love matches.
They weren't love... One of them, it turned into a love match.
Right.
But I think she's like, I chose those. Like, right. I'll choose it. Those men will take care of you. It doesn't matter whether or not you fall in love with them.
Security.
It's security. Yeah.
That ring feels heavy. It feels so heavy. The ring feels heavy upon her finger. It's a manifestation of her guilt.
Her guilt!
Her guilt is the ring. The ring is her guilt. It is heavy upon the hand. Why am I the one who's singing?
Girl,
you can sing.
That's why I'm taking this shot. I was like, I need more
Take a
liquor.
Shot.
Thank you. The ring!
The ring is a manifestation of her.
Guys, again, like we said before, nothing happens in this episode. So, like, we are making this entertainment.
Yeah.
Not this wig again.
Not this McDonald's McMuffin. Not this McMuffin.
Everything about them, everything about Lady Tilly
is slightly off.
Actually, I think that's the right word to say. I feel like I know what they were trying to do. I know what they were trying to show us, but everything was it wasn't done quite to where I was like, oh, great. It's just slightly off. I think that's right.
I think it's off because we're not supposed to fall in love with her because Benedict doesn't.
I'm not even mad at her. It's just...
the McMuffin of it all.
The McMuffin of it all. Like, the McMuffin of it all. The hair is a McMuffin. The McMuffin is a McMuffin. Everyone's just slightly a McMuffin.
The magician coat is a McMuffin.
The McMuffin. Everything is off. Yeah. It just, nothing quite fits.
Everything is very dollar menu.
Yes. And everybody else is like, not even at McDonald's, right? Like, they're like at a Five Guys.
Right.
Like, they're at a different establishment.
They're at a Ruth's Chris.
You know what? Let's take it up a bit.
Yeah. Everyone else is at a Ruth's Chris, and Lady Tilly is McDonald's.
It's McDonald's. And in this, it's not working.
I'm hosting a dinner party later this week for you and me and my dear friend Paul. Will you come?
Dinner party.
She said a dinner party of three.
Party of three.
If Benedict knew anything about when people are like, hey, me and my wife saw you from across the room,
right? That's
what the situation is right here. But he has not, I guess, not been introduced. I thought he had in the first season.
He has.
So if someone's at a dinner party with you, me, and my friend Paul, I'd be like, oh, who's Paul? Like, what's up?
That's what he's about to find out.
Okay.
Well, you think you deserve it? You at least have a direction for your life. Well, I am floating, purposeless.
I just want to say, this is so interesting because there's a lot of things here that are parallels to the book, but also different from the book. So, like, in the book, Penelope does discover his writing.
Right.
And she is like, yo, this shit is good.
Fire.
This shit is fire.
I would know. You don't know why I would know, but I would know. But this shit is fire.
This shit is really fucking good. And so, she basically, over the course of the rest of the book, because they get married... and then they're in marriage together. He knows she's Lady Whistledown. Anyways, they get married, and she keeps being like, you're a really good fucking writer. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the book, she has encouraged him to write. Mm-hmm. And so, like, here, it feels like, because Penelope has said it once or twice, he's like, you know what? Like, she's right. Like, I'm a good writer, and I'm gonna write a fucking book.
I'm gonna start
writing a book. But what's interesting is... She inspires him. But the difference here in this scene... is that by now, in the books, Benedict has been married.
Yeah.
So the difference here is that Benedict actually has his purpose at this point in the books. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's good at. And Colin in the books is the directionless one. He's the one that continuously says, I'm floating. I don't know what to do. It's completely flipped in terms of the character. So, but I don't mind the change at all.
And also, he's floaty and super self-aware about it.
Super self-aware. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just fucking widows and shit. Like,
I don't know.
Orgy to orgy to orgy. He's about to be like in a throuple. He's like, I'm just gonna try some shit out. Very happy that there was a throuple. Marissa, we're gonna get to it, but Marissa, did we have that in the review? I'm not sure.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape, Miana. Roll the tape.
I'm gonna see if I can fucking find that shit because Marissa said in an episode. Okay. Marissa already motherfucking said, you know what I would like to see? If not a poly relationship or a throuple, but at least a non-traditional relationship for Benedict. And, like, I cannot believe within a few episodes...
they gave me what I wanted.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a threesome. Like, it's like...
We're
it's like,
jumping ahead.
I know. But, like, I just want to just let it be known that Marissa was...
manifested this.
Manifested this shit. Okay.
Mr. Mondrich is sad about his club, but also in acceptance.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, an end of an era.
End of an era. It lasted a year.
Word of the Lord.
Reading of the bands.
Thank you.
I've never seen reading of the bands on television, though. So I was happy to see an actual reading of the bands. Usually in books, you hear about them talking about a reading of the bands. but not an actual scene of it.
I guess.
So,
I just like...
You're like, I don't want to be here right now.
My religious trauma reared its ugly head.
You were just
why are we in church?
Get me the fuck out of this shit.
Why are we in church?
At least the show doesn't go to it very much. But I guess the reading of the banns has to be done,
I guess,
in a church.
She'll be married here in 3 weeks.
That guy's wig is better than... Wait! I would take
a read.
Lady Tilly, I'm sorry, fix that shit!
I'm sorry, the priest has one on you.
Yes.
I have loved you since the moment we met. An embarrassingly long time, really.
I did not realize that she had not said it yet. Like, until, like, as I was watching episode 6, I went, oh my god, this is the man who has said this to her
3 times already?
And he hasn't heard it back yet.
No. And this is, like, our clue to her being like, I choose you.
Yes.
Over Lady Whistledown.
AKA
myself.
I'm also a big fan of men saying I love you first. So I'm glad.
Did you say I love you or did Alex say it?
I made him say it first. Like, we both were doing that thing. You know when you want to tell a person you love them, so you start with I like you, and then you start with I really like you, and then you start with like I really, really don't ever want to be without you, and then like you work your way up.
Yeah.
And we were doing that one night where it was so obvious. And then he finally said it, and then I waited like 5 seconds, and then I said it back. Yeah.
With my ex, I waited, and then with my current partner, we were in Joshua Tree having a mushroom trip.
This actually sounds spiritual and beautiful.
Yeah, and we had like been casual for a really long time, and then we had started getting serious, and we were in the middle of a very, very great, intense shroom trip, as one does in Joshua Tree. And we were just under the stars, enjoying...
You guys were outside?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm setting the scene for myself.
Yeah,
okay.
So we're outside. Set the scene. We're outside in the desert. Joshua trees everywhere. It was a new moon, so no moon. It was all stars. I could see all the stars. You know, when you're shrooming, you see connections in everything.
Okay.
So I was literally seeing connections between all the stars, and you know, I had that very profound realization that like we're all connected. Yeah. I had this overwhelming sense of peace, and then all of a sudden a shooting star...
Are you fucking kidding?
I'm not kidding. A shooting star goes across the sky, and it was so big and beautiful and long to the point where we're like, oh my god, a shooting star! Oh my god! It's still going! Wow, it's really still going! Like, it went for so long.
That's beautiful!
And then I just felt like all of my... I'm divorced, so I had a lot of walls up. Yeah. And I felt like all of my walls just came crumbling down. And I just looked at him, and I was like, hi, out of my mind. I just looked at him, and I go, the star had just, you know, traversed across the sky. I just looked at him, and I just knew, and I was like, Kunal? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I just have to tell you that I think I love you a little bit. The sky told me to tell you.
At least you had to blame it on her. You were like, you know what?
I was like, you don't have to say it back, but the sky told me to tell you, and I couldn't ignore her. And he goes, Marissa? And I go, no. Yeah? He goes, I think I love you too. But only a little bit. Like, in the books, she loves dancing, but no one asks her to dance.
That's exactly it.
So I love that they're dancing
together. Can I tell you a story? Sorry, we're talking like about really sappy stories. So if you guys want to skip, maybe. I don't know. I love the sappy stories, but like my husband at one point before we were married, it was like around 2014, 2015. I was telling him that like he didn't listen to a lot of pop music growing up because he's a barbershopper and he listened to barbershop.
A classic boy.
Yeah. So I was telling him I was actually going through every decade of music that mattered to me, starting like in the 90s and going through all of the big hits. And so anyways, we got to Toni Braxton's Unbreak My Heart. Toni Braxton's Unbreak My Heart is one of my favorite songs. And if you are a millennial, it was played at every school dance starting from the time it came out.
Wow.
Starting from the time it came out until we graduated high school, it was played at every school dance.
It really was.
The song is deeply tragic. If you saw the music video, it was
appropriate for middle schoolers.
Not appropriate. But basically, when I was in high school and when I was in middle school, I never had anyone to dance with for the dances. So I danced during the fast dances, but I never had a boyfriend, so I never had anyone to slow dance with. So I was always alone. Yes, I was always alone during the slow dances. So I remember I had walked away from the computer and I'm telling Alex this story. It's a funny story. And I turned back around and he had queued up the song and he was holding out his hand and he's like, let's dance.
This is giving that.
It was so fucking sweet.
That's so sweet.
It was really wonderful.
Issue. I do not wish to be your collaborator, and I cannot be your friend any longer. I am sorry.
Break up. And it's so sad because if she had just been honest right here, if Cressida had just been honest with Eloise right here and said, I did it because truth.
But I also feel like Eloise, and again, I do think this is just them both being young people. Both of them, and we said this in a previous episode, both of them are very wrapped up in their own stuff. Eloise is very wrapped up in what's happening with Penelope and Colin right now.
That's true.
So she hasn't been able to be the friend that Cressida has needed, because as a friend, I'd be like, girl, I know it's not you, so can you tell me what's really going on? But Eloise has so much. At this point, she's almost at the point of reconciling with Pen as well. So she has so much of her own stuff going on that she's not able to be a friend to Cressida, because Cressida needs one person to say,
one person.
Just one person to be like, baby.
What's...
Because her mom knows, and her mom is not going to be there for her. She needs someone who's going to be like, Cressida, I actually know it's not you. Can you tell me why you did this? Was it for attention? Because she literally says it's not for attention. Then why? And Eloise is not able to do that right now. And I'm not going to be mean to her because she's young and she doesn't know that she needs to be doing this because she's got her own stuff. But I just wish someone had been there for Cressida, because no one is there for her. And that's why her story is so tragic to me, is she doesn't have anyone in her corner. Like, Penelope has always been alone in her family, but she's always had the Bridgertons. This is actually a person who has no one. And I'm not sure there's anyone else in the show. Maybe except for the Duke. The Duke even had Lady Danbury. I'm not sure there's anyone else in the show who has no one the way Cressida does. And I'm so fucking pissed off. Because I told the writers not to make me like her. I said, keep her a villain. Don't make me care about her. And if y'all make me care about her, she's got to have a happy ending.
This is rough.
Yeah, it's rough. And I know why Eloise doesn't ask the questions, because she's dealing with her own shit, but it just sucks for me. Yeah.
No wonder Penelope abandoned you.
This is bad.
All you ever do is talk.
And she's like reverting back to who she was.
Yes.
Like
the cruelty that she knows.
Yes. And I do feel
also,
like
she just got dumped.
By her,
She just got dumped. So when you get dumped,
I'm gonna lash the fuck out.
Exactly.
And she's going at, like, she knows where Eloise is, like, probably where her, like, tender spots are, insecurities are, and she's just going straight forward for it. But I do know, like, when you're hurt, like, you do start lashing out at people. And she has no one to be like, hey, baby, you're lashing out. Are you okay? No one's gonna ask the question. Yeah.
Get away.
She's like, I want that.
Yeah, and I think...
I want that enthusiasm.
I think because she's so quiet and she's so, like, handles things by herself, maybe nobody realizes that she still needs
the validation.
The validation. Like, even when you...
You can be an independent being and still appreciate validation.
Yes, just someone to say, you did good. I'm so happy for you.
And then you can say, I know.
Thank you. I didn't even need that.
Thank
but
you.
inside, you're
I
like,
know.
yeah.
But it's nice to hear.
It's nice to hear, like, she's so independent that
positive
I feel like...
reinforcement is positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Is positive reinforcement.
Yes, and she wants to know that her mom is proud of her and happy for
who
her.
Doesn't?
And I'm not sure anyone in her family has done that. And the other thing, though, is she's so... likes being by herself. I'm sure her family's like, well, she doesn't need that.
Yeah.
Like, when you're really strong, a lot of times people don't think that you need any help.
Right.
Or need
Remember
anything.
when when we're all going through, like, the mental health crisis of 2020, and the whole thing was, like, check in on your strong friends.
Check in on your strong friends.
Your strong friends.
Yes.
They're the ones who are probably struggling the most.
That was a thing. Also, check in on your black friends. Text them and be like, hey, saw some murders today. Hope you're doing okay. I'm gonna cut this out. 2020 was wild!
The guilt of the ring.
The guilt of the ring. The guilt of the ring. The guilt of the ring.
Ha ha! The guilt of the ring.
Guilt of the ring. Guilt of the ring.
Guilt of the ring.
Could you delete your old issues? I couldn't. I can't even delete.
No.
I can't even. There are some Instagram posts that I'm like, I'm not even gonna archive. I'm saving that shit. That was hilarious. I'm not gonna delete.
No.
Or do this.
Couldn't. I mean, symbolically, yeah, I get it.
Yes.
Like, we need it for the show. Like,
yes.
Symbolism and whatever.
Yes.
Like, visual symbolism, but I would never.
Burn my work?
Mm-mm. The original?
The originals. No.
I'm pulling her dowry.
My lord, she will lose all prospect.
I do not care. Clearly, no man in London will have her now.
Financial abuse. He's financially abusive.
I can't even imagine how he's also treated his wife, given that they have one daughter and probably no sons.
Today I bring you much gossip from about the many lands. Near and far, far and wide.
Ugh.
She's probably been at this for 3 days straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her mom is like, we saw the queen 3 days ago. What do you have?
I think it's also interesting, you know how we were saying last episode, there's this use of the time bomb, right?
Yeah.
That, like,
yes.
The ticking time bomb that keeps everything moving at a quick pace. I feel no urgency.
There's no urgency in anything. Eloise has now backed off of Penelope. This is kind of like... it should feel more urgent. It doesn't quite have... You're right. It's just there's nothing
about
moving.
Like her writing isn't even urgent. Like nothing is urgent about this. It's so boring.
It's
I don't like this episode.
No, this episode is just...
I felt like this episode is just one I had to get through.
Yes.
Instead of enjoy.
Yes. No, I feel like you would text me about episode 7 and you're like, oh shit, the penultimate episode is like, woo! But you didn't say nothing about episode 6.
Not this.
Not this.
No. Mrs. Mondre
pulled out the good wig. She pulled out like the Cleopatra.
Mondre
pulled out the Cleopatra wig. She said, "I'm gonna have I don't care if the queen is coming. I'm gonna have the biggest wig at this party." Right. I'm happy for her.
It's my party. I'm a wig out.
I'm a wig out.
Even if it is not the love that you want for me.
It's interesting because it's not like she's being rebellious. It's not like she's chosen a man who's bad for her.
No. This is a titled man. He's a titled man who very clearly adores her. A castle. And very clearly loves
estates.
her. Yeah.
Loves her, is respectable.
Yeah.
The rest of the family really likes him.
Yes.
Like maybe he's not as boisterous as
every other person
in the family, but neither is she. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think the show just has to have drama with every relationship, and so they're trying to find it with these two. And I do understand that, like, I will say that through this drama, I'm getting to know Francesca more, which is great because we have not the first two season 1. Francesca was like, hi, and then in season 2, she was like, I'm in bed. Yeah, so I think they had to make
the piano in bed.
So I feel like they were trying to really let us know what her character was.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. Normally, like, Violet would be ecstatic that her daughter found a match at the start of her season, and he's titled and loves her.
Right.
I think the show just needed drama.
It is not for you to go after my friend.
You are not the only one who cares for Lady Bridgerton.
Wait. There's also, like, a parallel between Eloise being like, her friend and her brother, and then this is also Lady Danbury's brother and her friend.
Shit.
It's like a little bit. There's everyone's having a little bit of drama with their brother and their friend wanting each other. Yeah. And then everybody's resolved by the end of the season.
I didn't put
Yeah.
that together at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, I usually put things together.
You actually really do be putting things together. But that just hit me just now. Her saying, "Don't go after my friend," reminded me of what
My
Eloise
friend.
said. Yeah.
Find my friend.
Okay. Just really quickly. This doesn't land for me, unfortunately. Like, it doesn't land for me. How do you feel about? Somehow,
I don't... Who directed this episode?
something's off, right? Every single situation has not quite... I know that Joa is a very good actress, and for this to not feel grounded, something is off, and I don't know what it is. Something just doesn't feel right, and this scene doesn't feel right. Them throwing this at us when we watched an entire season, this was never mentioned, and that's fine. We watched Queen Charlotte, it was never mentioned. That's totally fine. It happens. But then we come here, she's mentioning it, and again, like I said earlier, it's resolved so quickly, and he never ever says...
Like, it doesn't feel earned.
No!
The fight doesn't feel earned.
Yes!
And neither does the fight between Francesca and Lady Bridgerton. It's like an
Yes!
unearned fight
Yes!
followed by another unearned
Yes!
fight.
Yes.
So it feels very...
It feels forced. It feels like a forced fight. Like they wanted these blow-ups to happen in this episode, but as an audience, we're like, where the fuck is this shit coming from? Come on, Benedict.
Come on, Benedict. Pick up what he's putting down.
Come on, Benedict.
Would you perhaps like to join us?
Like,
Upstairs.
truly, me and my wife saw you from across the bar. Like, I wanted to know.
We just wanted to know.
Would you like to have a drink with
Wanna
us?
get out of here?
You want to get out of
Wanna
here?
get out of here?
I'm just saying, we just liked your vibe.
Yeah.
Would you like? I love that he says my suspicions are true. He said, "That man,
What am I to dick?
what am I?
I suspect.
I suspect, and I know in my heart that man would not mind.
I suspect Benedict would like a Benedict.
Would like to be Benedict down. Yes, and he's not wrong. I've never been invited to a threesome.
Perhaps we should have to add some flourish.
What are you guys thinking?
I don't think I've ever been. No, I've never been invited to a threesome. No.
Oh.
I know. I'm not even. I didn't have to ask the question. I didn't have. Look at this woman beside me. You think how many? There has to be just an unlimited number of people who are like, I saw you from across the bar, and they're like, I love your vibe.
When we saw this dress in the trailer, I was like, this is her whistle down dress.
And she texted me that second and said, saw the trailer, that's her whistle down dress. Marissa just be noticing shit left and right.
First of all, Cressida does not wear red.
Never. It's always pinks.
Always pinks, peaches, pale colors. She does not wear strong colors like this. She is a red vixen.
Yes, I wish this lasted longer than tonight.
Me too.
Right? Just let her be a bad bitch for like longer than...
For a second!
For a second.
This is when the episode finally started getting interesting.
So we're at minute what? We
have 11 minutes left of the episode.
We are 56 minutes in and the episode just got spicy.
Yeah.
Great.
You may now know my name, but have no doubt I know you.
That is a lot of ink for a postcard.
We'll talk about it, sorry, once the episode ends. I don't think any of this works. None of it works for me. None of this is working for me. It doesn't work for me. It's not working for me.
Let's discuss it now.
Okay. I think one of the titillating things about Lady Whistledown is her secrecy. Mm-hmm. When you've... And the problem right away is that Cressida has said that she's Lady Whistledown, and then she writes an issue, and everyone knows who it is. I don't know if I would find it, me personally. Mm-hmm. The reason I like the Gossip Mag is because
written an issue yet.
She hasn't written an issue, but I'm just sitting here like, she's like, I'm gonna be back. Yeah, bitch, like you're in the room.
Right.
This is not titillating to me, because you're telling me that you're gonna come back, but you're already here. Like, This could have just been an announcement.
I like it.
It doesn't. I
like it, but then we wouldn't have had the dress.
We had to have the dress. I understand the moment, and I understand that. For me, even at the end of the show, when we get to episode 8, having a known Lady Whistledown.
This is what I wish would have happened.
Yes.
I wish it would have been a Mean Girls burn book moment.
Just something. Yes.
Where she comes in and she gives the queen the first copy.
Yeah.
And then goes and just throws it around and has the town scrambling.
Yes, and then just walked out.
That's what I wanted.
Yes.
And you know what? It would have made this episode shorter.
We could have cut 15 minutes.
I wanted a Mean Girls burn book.
I think that's exactly it. I wanted a moment, and her standing there and watching them read quite literally a postcard that says, "I'll be back."
Yeah. And then it could have been that her and her mom were walking out. Then I could have seen the ink on her mom's hand.
Yes.
Indicating that her mom had written it for her.
Yes.
And for once had protected her child.
For once. It's just, it could have been, like you said, sharper, faster, in and out.
Yeah.
Bad bitches don't need to
say nothing.
Don't need to say nothing. She could have walked in. The queen could have been, "Why are you here?"
"I have brought you a gift."
"I brought you a gift." "What is it?" Queen reads it. Queen.
As she's reading it and we're hearing the voiceover, then we see all that, and then we can see this moment where everyone's scrambling.
Frenzy, yes.
Everyone's in a frenzy, especially Penelope.
Yes.
And then maybe she gets one on the ground, and maybe she's like on the ground.
And I almost even have chills thinking about Cressida exiting as she says, "I'll be back."
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh.
Come on!
You know what I mean? Just a moment of being like, "You thought I was gone? I've just begun."
Just giving her this moment of power so that when it gets stripped away...
Yeah. It's earned. That's the only thing. There's moments in here, like we've now said, that just not quite earned.
How would you have wanted it done?
I'm not sure there was any good way to do it. Yes. I think that's actually maybe the only way I can think of, because I think once she fully leaned into having to write Lady Whistledown, which again, that doesn't happen in the books. Cressida says, "I am Lady Whistledown," and immediately Penelope writes a column is like, no, this bitch is not. Yeah. And the person who does this, the person who has the contest is Lady Danbury, and it's not the queen. The queen's not really involved in the books. So the stakes aren't quite the same.
Yeah. I would have loved the burn book moment. Yeah. Actually, and like when everyone's in a frenzy or whatever, I would have liked the moment of Penelope finding it and reading it to be shared with Eloise then and there.
So they could have, and then look at each other like, what the fuck are we going to do?
What we going to do now?
Girl, now what are we going to do?
What the hell we going to do now?
Yeah. And then start of the next episode, that sort of thing. But somehow, I said this is so dramatic, but I said this before, and I'm going to mention it on another thing, because I think it's a great quote. There's that T.S. Eliot quote where it says, "This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper." That's how I felt about all of the setups this season. Nothing ended everything ended like a, whoo. And that's kind of my issue from here on out with a lot of the rest of the season. The episode keeps going after the biggest moment. I'm so sorry. I will just say once again, I feel like they needed to set things up in such a way that Eloise all of a sudden has a deep-seated hate for Cressida, which she did not have an episode ago.
The only thing was the spurned outside the church. This
turn for me is fast and unearned, and in a show where they take so much time to do so much shit, y'all had enough time to make the turn work for me.
Right.
Y'all had enough time to make Eloise all of a sudden really deeply, because Eloise broke up with Cressida first, right? So like the turns don't quite work. They're not quite landing. Like, and again, I don't know if it's a script, I don't know if it's a direction, and I don't know if there's cuts. There could have been another full scene between Eloise and Cressida that they cut for time where we're missing something. Because I'm like,
several things are missing here.
Several things are missing.
Viper, who now has nearly as much power as the queen.
See, and that wasn't shown.
No.
If there had been a visual show of that, the power dynamic.
Yes.
this freak out isn't earned.
It's not earned.
It's so forced.
And I should have been using the Colin to give a voice to the other voiceless.
I just very quickly want to say, and I'm going to maybe even like pop in a video of myself saying this. In season 2, I called Penelope a demon several times. And what I said about Penelope was the reason why I did not understand why she had stands, at least at that time, was Penelope had a position of power, and I did not understand how she was not using Lady Whistledown specifically to give voice to the powerless, to people who needed her help. So I'm glad, at least, that she
recognizes it and is repentant about it.
She's repentant about it, because I truly, for the longest, was like, as a wallflower who's gotten made fun of, you are quite literally using your Colin to make fun of other people.
You. Oh, Lady Whistledown.
I want you to know, I didn't care. I was like, good. I'm glad you got found out. I didn't care.
I was like, it either needed to end on an epic Mean Girls-esque Cressida moment.
Yes.
Or they needed to make this an epic moment.
Huge moment.
And
no, everything was like here. Everything is here.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's strange. It's strange because this show knows drama. Because we just saw it in the last 2 episodes. So maybe they thought we needed a break, but that's the thing. Y'all can keep going. Like, once you've already fed me, like, you give me more.
You fed the children. We are hungry.
Please. Like, we saw what the show could be, and then y'all pulled back. So.
I'm looking up the director right now.
Okay.
What bothers me about this episode, too.
Yeah.
As much as ever. This is the title of the book, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
It's the title of the book. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's the titular episode.
Yeah. And it's just...
Oh.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only
short.
one. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only person who felt this way, because we truly finished the episode and we were just like...
It felt like a weirdly filler episode, but when, like, huge things were happening.
It's weird because just as many huge things happened here as previous episodes, but nothing felt heightened. And I think you're absolutely right that the last one, because they were like, you're on the clock.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Penelope was on a clock. She had to get to the printer tonight.
Right.
We were like, Cressida was on a clock. She had to deliver an issue. We were like,
right. You know what I would have loved seeing? I would have loved seeing, okay, Cressida, Mean Girl. If they weren't going to cut it there.
Yeah.
I would have loved for them to cut it there and then have this at the top of the episode to bring us, like, right into the top of the episode of, like, rushing. So Cressida is, as soon as she leaves, her and her mom rush home to finish this, to get to writing, right? And so she's trying to write. We cut to Penelope.
Oh my God, I would have loved them both having to do
dual writing.
Because
that's what this is. Women couldn't duel. This is their duel. We show Colin, like
somehow
following Eloise and like piecing it together. I wanted to see him piecing it together.
No.
Going from bounce, 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 bounce.
No, there was never any... You're absolutely right. I would have loved... Because we saw, like, there's been moments in the show where they're like, I want to throw the biggest ball Mayfair's ever seen over here. I want to throw the biggest wedding Mayfair's ever seen. And so we're seeing 2 people going after similar things. I think it would have been lovely to see the 2 women writing. And them both having to get this done.
Especially because the first half of the season, we see them competing for Debbling and going back and forth with that.
Remember
I wanted that to continue.
Yeah. I will.
Because Penelope hasn't won yet. Even though that she has Colin, she hasn't won yet.
Yeah. No, she hasn't, because Debbling pieced out, and that was her. That's what she was going after, and then Colin. Yeah. Also, I guess we can talk about it here because it's not going to come up again. The Lord Debbling storyline.
Gone. He's gone.
I can't believe it.
Can't believe he's gone.
Every episode I was like, he's going to be back. I'm not going to get frustrated about this. He's going to come back. He's going to save Cressida because someone's going to save her. I won't get upset about this. And I will just say, because he never comes back, I am shocked that this man, because he was at the premiere too. And I guess it's because he's dating the oldest Featherington daughter. Right. But I really thought he was there because he was in the second half of the season.
Alas, he is not.
I can't believe that. I know I've seen the whole season, and I know I can't get upset about this, but I actually am in shock that is not something that they thought the audience would want to see resolution of.
Yeah. It's such a good character, and he could have been used better. An established character to establish a character, it's hard to establish a character in a new season when everyone else has been established. It's hard to do that. Yes. He has been established.
And did it well.
They did it well. And then they didn't use him. And I just feel like, even with these small tweaks, man, that as I'm describing this episode, wouldn't it have been so much better?
Because I think in general, the last half of the season should have always felt like a ticking clock.
Yes.
The last 4 episodes needed to be, what happens if she gets caught? Okay, now she's found out that she's caught. What's going to happen next? We should have always been like, fuck. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
What's going to happen next?
Yes.
What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
And when he finds her,
the duel between her and Cressida should have continued.
Girl, the way there's no tension, they resolve it so quickly.
There's no tension.
They resolve it at the top of the next episode, and they're like, boop. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean that didn't matter? What do you mean Cressida's whole thing didn't matter? We'll obviously talk about it when we get to episode 7, but I'm like, why didn't that matter? You guys set her up to be the baddest bitch of the ton.
Hated it.
So as you guys can see, we loved it. The whole time I've been like, normally you and I are just like, blah, blah, blah. We're laughing, hitting the table. This whole episode, we're like... It's after a long day, and then we came into an episode.
It's the longest episode.
And we came into an episode where we're like, and no one in the episode was really all that funny. All right, guys. We got through what may be the worst episode of the season. Mm-hmm. And again, we did that for y'all.
For you.
It's actually so funny. I'm actually sober. Like, it actually sapped the alcohol from my body. Like, we needed so much energy to get through it. My body ran through the alcohol. I had 2 shots and my mimosa, and I'm completely sober.
So sober.
I've never been this sober at the end of it.
No. I'm litty titty by this point.
End of the episode. I am completely sober. Yeah. Guys, we got through it. Thank you for sticking with us if you made it all the way through. Again, love to know you guys' thoughts on this episode, and we will see you guys on a better episode
next time. Also, let us know your theories. I want to know. Yeah. I want to know how you would make this better, because
how would you guys make this episode better?
How would you make this better? To collectively just come up with fanfic right now of how this episode should have happened.
Because honestly, you had a theory right away that was just so much better, and like, I am sure there's other people out there with other...
even better ideas.
Just ideas that
I want to hear them. I want to know them. Let us know.
Just a way to, like, heighten this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye. See you next time for a better episode.
Please.